Hello all, my name is Krish Nayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, in this specific video, I'm going to show you how you can completely simplify the LLMOps and you can build some amazing LLM pipelines within minutes without writing any code. Obviously, building LLM pipelines in some of the cloud platforms like Azure and AWS is a cumbersome task and you will definitely be finding a lot of difficulties. But this amazing platform that is called as Vext will just show you that how you can create all these things within minutes without writing any code and how simple it is. So let me go ahead and let me start over here. Now, the best thing about this LLM pipeline is that, and whenever you probably create any kind of generative AI application, you need to use a lot of tools. You need to use a lot of agents to probably solve various use cases. It can be a RAG application. It can be a document Q&A. So to develop all this kind of applications, specifically with the help of this platform called as Vext, I will just show you. I will build a project completely from scratch, and it'll just give you an idea like how easy it is probably to create this everything out there, right? So over here, first of all, you need to log in over here. And once you log in, or you have to sign up if you're not logged in at any point of time. And then you can just click on AI projects over here. I will show you how you can build it completely from scratch. So let me just go ahead and create a project. And here I'll say build your own. Okay. Now, this specific project that I'm actually going to create, I'm going to use multiple tools and agents. One of the tools will be for interacting with, let's say, Wikipedia API. One tool will be responsible in interacting with Archive. One tool can be specifically using LLMs, to summarize all the content out there, right? So let me go ahead and let me show you that how you can probably keep on adding those kind of tools and agents and how you can finally use an LLM model and probably display the entire results. After creating all these things, the best thing about this platform will be that it will also give you the entire API along with the body that is actually required. So just by writing the entire code, this entire LLM pipeline, for accessing this entire LLM pipeline, you'll be getting an API to access it. So guys, once you start a project, now I will show you how you can quickly create an LLM pipeline with multiple functionalities in this generative AI app. Initially, once you start your project, here you'll be getting two options. One is query. This is just like you can see over here, it is written an event that starts the flow. So as soon as you probably write your query, this entire events is going to get triggered. Here you can also see a variable which is called as payload. We'll be discussing about this post request and all as we go ahead. And this will be required at the last because understand with the help of this specific API, we will be able to access this entire LLM pipeline. Okay. But just remember this variable which is called as payload. Okay, we are going to use this specific payload. This payload will be assigned with whatever query we ask initially. Okay, so here this is the first box that you probably see in this particular LLM pipeline, and the large box that you can probably see is the output. Okay, so output is responsible in displaying. It just displays the result to a destination. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to add more functionalities in this LLM pipeline. So let me just go ahead and see what all options we have. So the first option here, you can see that we are trying to add an action. In this particular action, you have options to add LLM. You have options to add vector databases. Vector databases can be specifically used whenever you really want to work with RAG application or document Q&A application and all. Then you have options to add tools. These are some of the tools which we commonly use, like Google search APIs, Wikipedia search API, other APIs which we will definitely be seeing what all options it basically supports. And the final option is basically with respect to function calling. Function calling, let's say you want to probably create your own custom API. You have your API in your company, which is probably being hosted in some other platform, in some other cloud, and you want to probably use that and integrate along with the function calling in your chatbot, you can also use that. Let me do one thing. Let me just move my face towards the left hand side and let me show you step by step how you can add all these particular tools and how you can develop a complete LLM pipeline which will be able to perform many tasks itself. So let's go ahead and add an action, and in this case I will go ahead and add a tools. Now in this tools, you can see you have two types. One is pre-built and one is custom. As I said, pre-built, it supports multiple like basic maths, PubMed, OpenWeather. I hope everybody knows about OpenWeather. It gives you weather information, RSafe, Wikipedia, Google search. Let's say I will go ahead and add Google search over here. Now with respect to this particular Google search, here you'll be able to see that whenever I give a sample input, it should be able to give me some kind of sample output. It will search for any keyword using the Google search engine and return the relevant web results. Okay. And here is also one more option which is called as function input. And here you can see some available variables like current date, time, history, and payload. I hope everybody has seen that particular post request. There you had something like payload. And if we use this payload over here, right, that basically means we are referring to the initial query that has been written by the human being, right? So to refer the query that we initially give in the Google search, right? So we'll be taking this particular query and we'll be in short, we'll be using this Google search tool to get the response, right? So this query will be the input to this Google search tool itself. So if you write this particular variable in this way, you will be getting with respect to that particular results, right? And again, Google search tool will be used over here. So this is the first tool that I will be using. Okay. So once I use this particular tool, that will be after the query itself. As soon as I give the query, the first tool is nothing but Google search. Let me go ahead and add one more. If I specifically want one more tool, I will go ahead and add it. So here, let's go ahead and add one more tool like RCIF. So most of the research paper. So let me just go ahead and add one more like Wikipedia. Now in this Wikipedia, you'll be able to see again, I'll be giving some input, I'll be getting some output. And with respect to this also, what I can actually do, there are two different things. One, obviously I can actually give a payload over here, right? Now, if I'm specifically giving the payload, that basically means again, this is also referring to the initial query that we give in our post request. So here I'm going to put this particular payload and let me just save it. Okay. So in short, in this entire LLM pipeline, I have added two actions and these two actions are specifically two tools. One is with respect to the Google search and the other one is with respect to the Wikipedia search. Now, let me go ahead and let me perform, or let me just add one more LLM so that we'll be able to summarize all these particular results based on our prompt. So I will go ahead and add another action over here. And here also with respect to LLMs, you have two different types. You can also bring your own LLM or you can also add managed LLM. Now with respect to managed LLM, here you have multiple options. Here you can see it supports Azure OpenAI GPT 3.5, GPT 4, Cloudy Instant, Cloudy 2. You have Gemini Pro, you have Llama 2, Llama 3, all different models. Let me just go ahead and select Llama 2 13 billion parameters. I will set the temperature to 0.7. Now what I'm actually going to do is that I am going to add some kind of system prompt. Okay. My system prompt will be saying that, okay, the first tool, I know that it is a Google search. So I'm saying, hey, you are a helpful assistant. So the first one is info found via Google search. And whatever information is from the Google search, that is nothing but my action one. By default, it will be stored in this particular variable, which is called as action_1_output. This actually says that this is the output of the first action. Similarly, info found via Wikipedia, here you can see action 2 output because this is the action 2, which we have included, which is nothing but the Wikipedia search. And then the output will be stored in this particular variable, whatever output is basically coming from this particular tool. And finally, if I want to display what is my initial query that I've asked, so I will be putting up inside this particular variable that is called as payload, right? So I hope everybody has got an idea about action 1 output, action 2 output. That is nothing but my tools 1 or tools 2 output with respect to the action that I've actually created over here. So this was my first LLM that I've actually created. Let me just go ahead and add one more LLM. And this time we'll be using Mistral just to show you like how we can use this all LLMs in a pipeline and get our specific output. Okay. So let me just go ahead and click on, and how easy it is, you know, you're just doing drag and drop. You're just clicking on this. Just imagine you're an experienced person who quickly wants to develop this kind of generative AI application where you don't have to even worry about the deployment part and all, and you're easily being able to create the entire LLMOps pipeline, right? So let me just go ahead and add one more LLM, and this time I'll be using Mistral 7B, 8x7B. And this time I'm going to use a system prompt. Let's say that you are an auditor, job is to audit and find the best response. So user input is nothing but this particular payload. Obviously, the payload is used to refer the user input. Agent 1, let me do one thing. Agent 1 will basically be my action 1 output. Okay. Or I can also take it as action 3 output. Action 3 output will be nothing but this LLM output, right? And then I'm saying that please provide the best response. So in short, this action 3 output will be the output of the LLM that I've actually created using Llama 2. Okay. And then that final output that is probably coming will summarize from that. And then please provide the best response. That is what I have actually written over here. So once I save it, so here you'll be able to see that, yes, I think I'll be able to get a perfect output over here. And then we'll also try to see that whether we are able to get the whether it is working fine or not in the playground. Okay. So now this is my entire pipeline that I've actually created. And I think hardly it took any minutes. Since I'm explaining, so it is taking some amount of time. Otherwise, if I just want to implement it, I can hardly do it in 5 minutes, right? So this will finally be my output over here. So let's go ahead and test this in the playground. I will just go ahead and ask what is machine learning. Okay. Now, once I probably go ahead and search for what is machine learning, you'll be able to see that for the first time, it will take some amount of time to give the response. But the most important thing will be that how is the flow of this entire LLM pipeline. We'll be also able to see that, okay, based on the prompt that we have actually created. So again, I will go ahead and click the log once I get the output. So here I have got the output. Machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence. So here, if you probably see, it's just like giving a query. So this will be saved in a payload variable, right? Payload will be referring to this, okay? So let me just go ahead and see the log. So the logs over here, I just clicked on see logs over there. And once I probably see the logs over here, let me see. Okay, so this is the log initially. Right now the time is 4:37. So 4:37 p.m. So let's see. So here you'll be able to see the detail, like what is basically happening. So initially this is the query. This will be saved. You can probably just consider that payload will be referring to this particular word, to this particular sentence. And then it goes to the Google search. What is machine learning? So machine learning is a branch, so and so, all the information is probably coming up. Machine learning is a field of this one. So all the information is basically coming. And understand this output, what you're probably getting from this Google search will be saved in action_1 output, right? Because this is my action 1. Similarly, action 2, Wikipedia search. So this will basically be the output. This will be saved in action 2, action_2 output, right? Attention is all you need. All this machine learning is a field. So it is basically searching the Wikipedia search wrapper, right? Then you have this LLM. Now here we are basically used Meta Llama 2. You can see you are a helpful assistant. Info found via Google search. Machine learning is a field of this, all the information. This information is basically coming from the action_1 output, right? Similarly, here you will be able to see all this information, and this is finally my data output. Okay. And within this INST, I've also showed you that we have put the payload. So payload is basically referring over here, right? And if you see further, right, after this, there will also be a variable which will be taking the information from the Wikipedia. Okay. Somewhere here it will be there. Somewhere it is a big content. So you can probably search for it, because in the second tool, we were basically, in the LLM itself, we are referring to action 2 output also. Somewhere here it will be there. Okay. And this is your final data output that you are probably getting from this particular LLM model, okay, which is probably taking the best combination out of it. Then similarly with respect to Mistral, here you can see user input, what is machine learning. Agent 1 is basically giving you this particular output, right? Please provide the best response. So by selecting the best response, it is giving you the output over here. So I hope you're able to understand the entire flow, and this is what you will probably get in the output itself, which we have actually created in our LLM pipeline. So this in all together gives you an idea that how easily you are able to create this LLM pipeline and how easily you are able to see the flow, right? Again, to revise, understand, here we can add any number of actions. The actions can be tools, it can be LLMs, it can be function calls, it can be vector databases. Let's say if I'm adding my own data set, I can also use a vector database, and I can also refer that. And the third LLM model was based on the prompt that we have actually created over here. So let me just click this. So this was the prompt that we have created. Action_1 output is the output of first tool. Action number 2 or action_2 output is the output of the action 2, right? And then this payload is nothing but whatever query we are specifically referring to, right? So this was the entire amazing pipeline that we have actually created. Now I will show you that how we can use this specific API, and we'll be able to access this entire pipeline with the help of code that we will try to see. So guys, the first step, if I really want to use this API to access this LLM pipeline, there is a requirement of an API key. So here you can actually see API key is required. We have to probably set this up in our headers, like content type application JSON along with that API key. So how to create an API key? First of all, I will just go to my API keys over here. And once I probably go to my API keys, you'll be able to see that I can create my API key, and I've already created it. If you really want to create a new API key, just click on create, give any name for this particular API key, select the project that you are specifically working on, and click on generate. Okay. So once you specifically click on generate, you will be able to get an API key over here. Okay. So don't use this API key for your site because you create in your own dashboard, because I will be deleting this API key once the video will get uploaded. So once you copy over here, then now we can go to the cloud platform and we can save it, or I will just keep a note of it somewhere else so that I will be able to see this API key whenever I require. Okay. So I will just go ahead and save it. So now we can go ahead and use this entire post request that I have already shown you on our project. And then we can just update this API key over there, and that entire code, we will go ahead and discuss it. I've already written that particular code, and all we have to do is that we have to replicate this entire post request over there, right? Just replace the API key over there and use some new channel token, which I'm actually going to show you. So let's go ahead and have a look onto this. So just to give you an idea how I can specifically call that particular LLM pipeline, we have already seen what should be our API request, what should be there in the content type, what should be there in the payload, what should be the URL. Now with respect to this only, I have actually created this specific code. So initially we go ahead and import request. Then we specify the API key. This API key is the same API key that I have actually created. Then we specify what is our query, like what kind of query we are searching for. So like what is machine learning. Then we are setting it up as headers, right? Headers needs to be set up because over here in the header, content type is application JSON. And the second header that you require is API key. So that is the symbol that is given by this H symbol over here, right? H basically means headers. So headers, we really need to set it up. So here we are setting up this content type application JSON, and API key, which is nothing but this API key, which we are assigning to this particular API key. Then the payload, the data payload. So here we are going to set up the payload as your query, whatever query I am specifically asking. The second thing is with respect to the URL, we need to set up the URL. Where we will be able to get the URL, it is nothing but it is this URL over here, right? So I will copy this same URL and I will paste it over here. Okay. I will paste it over here, and here we need to specify some unique channel token. Okay. So just a second, here we need to specify a unique channel token. Okay. So here we will specify some kind of token, right? So like, let's say Krishnaik06. So this will be unique, and please specify with yourself with respect to the unique one, right? It can be anything, but let it be unique, right? It should not be same. This will be the URL that will be specifying where we really need to hit it, which is hosted in Vext app. Okay. And then finally, we use this request.post on URL. JSON, I will be giving a variable with respect to this particular data, whatever data payload that we are giving, and headers will be able to set it up. And finally, we get the response over here with the help of response.text. Now let me just go ahead and run this. So I will just open my terminal. Okay. And we will go ahead and run this. Okay. Now see, I'm asking for what is machine learning, right? So I will go ahead and write Python test.py. Okay. And this is just to give you an idea how we can hit that particular LLM pipeline that I have actually created, right? Initially, it will go and do the Google search, then it will go and do the RCF search, right? After that, it will summarize with the two LLM models, that is Llama 2 and Mistra. And it will give you the best output from all this particular content with respect to the response. So as I said, for the initial time, so here you can see text machine learning is a subset. So here I'm getting my entire output. So this is so amazing, right? So if you really want to get your entire query, so you can basically say response.text. So that is what I'm actually printing it over here. And this is what is the output that we are specifically getting, right? And this looks absolutely amazing, right? Just imagine, just with the help of an API, you are interacting with this entire LLM pipeline. Isn't it amazing, right? And just one part of the code, accessing the APIs is the part of the code. Remaining everything with respect to inferencing, everything this Vext platform is basically handling. So I hope you like this particular video. Please make sure that you try it from your side, and obviously check out this particular platform. There are many steps. If you're an experienced person, if you're an architect, I think you should definitely go with this platform to quickly develop any generative AI application. And considering this, if you probably go to app directory, this also supports a lot of other features also, so like Confluence, Google Drive, this and all. Here you can see with the help of AWS SageMaker also, now you can actually do. You can integrate your own models and utilize them on Vext, right? So whatever model you have in AWS SageMaker, you can also integrate. And soon they are also coming up with features like AWS Bedrock and Hugging Face, so that let's say you have an account in Hugging Face, you want to use the open source model with their inferencing, you can integrate it over here. So I hope you like this particular video. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you and all. Take care. Bye-bye. And all the other information regarding this will be given in the description of this particular video. Thank you. Take care.